Well, welcome everyone. I'm glad everyone could be on. We are going to share with you this opportunity, right? Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about it's a revolution. It's not theory, not a trend, not hype. Really, it's a revolution. And it's happening inside one of the oldest, most stable, most overlooked industries in America, life insurance. Now, tonight's not really about insurance. It's really about timing, freedom, a better model for work. See, we're living in a moment where one of the oldest and most stable industries in America is finally being transformed by digital tools. And when a stable industry becomes more scalable, more efficient, more accessible, opportunity expands. And for some people, that means a serious second income. Now, for others, it means a path out of the job world. Hey, like that was it for me, man. For parents, especially homeschooling families, it can mean something even deeper: the ability to earn without walking away from the life you intentionally chose. That is what this presentation is about, not just selling policies, but building a model of life and work that finally fits. Now, for the last 20 years, we watched every major industry change. Retail changed how people buy, like Amazon, for example. Banking changed how people transact. Media changed how people consume through streaming. Transportation changed how people move. And every time one of those industries shifted, some people saw it early and built leverage from it. Life insurance stayed old school much longer than most people expected. That's why this moment matters, because when one of the final major industries begins to modernize, the people who understand the shift early have a chance to build something. Now, the old model of life insurance was hard for a lot of great people. It meant long appointments, lots of driving, paperwork, and a process that felt slow, clunky, and really difficult to scale. If you needed flexibility, like if you had kids at home or if you wanted to build from home, the old model often felt like a bad fit. The new model changes that. Now, the process can be more digital, more remote, and more streamlined. Conversations can happen faster. Applications can move more cleanly. The business becomes more practical for more people. Now, that doesn't mean it's effortless. It means that the delivery system has improved. And when the delivery system improves, the business becomes more accessible to talented people who would have otherwise been shut out before. So, this model resonates most deeply with people who know they need a different way to work. Maybe that's the professional who's tired of building someone else's dream. Maybe it's the person who has income but no freedom. Maybe it's the parent who stepped away from a career to be more present for their family, but now needs to earn again at a serious level. And yes, this is especially meaningful for that stay at home or homeschooling moms who know they are still capable, still driven, still gifted. They just need a model that respects both their ambition and their calling at home. This is not an easy model, but it's real business. But for the right person, it is a much better fit. Now, one reason this business feels so much more modern now is that the workflow is cleaner. A prospect raises their hand saying, "Hey, I want to buy life insurance." And then you connect with them. You ask them questions, what they're looking for, find out about their health. Then you educate them on their options. And then you use digital tools to narrow down the options that they can afford. And then you write it up on an electronic application and you submit it. And the business moves toward issue and placement. That is a very different experience from the old model. The point here is not to make it sound overly simple. The point is to show that the process now matches the speed and convenience people expect in every other part of life, right? That is what makes this opportunity feel current. It's still a real sales profession, but now it moves with the rhythm of the world we actually live in. So here's an example of how you get a lead, right? You go on our Integrity Connect system and you look at where the leads are, right? I want to buy a life insurance lead and let's get an internet lead. So let's look at what states that I happen to be licensed in, and let's look at the lead opportunities in that state. So I happen to be licensed in Georgia, right? So let's go to the Georgia heat map and let's see what leads are available for me. And we have all types of leads, different priced leads. Every lead's an opportunity to have a conversation. So I'm going to go purchase some leads. Let's stick it in the shopping cart. Let's purchase it. It's on my American Express card. It's already loaded in. And then let's incorporate it into our CRM system. So let's go to client management, and lo and behold, poof, there's the lead. The lead shows up under clients. And then let's just choose Adrienne. Let's take a look at Adrienne. So there she is. We give her a call. Adrienne, I see that you were looking for some insurance. Let's take a look at what you're looking for. She needs some final expense. She tells us what her height and weight is, right? She tells us about her medical conditions. She's non-tobacco. And then let's type in her medical conditions to see what companies will cover her and at what premium rate. So she has hypothyroidism, if I can spell it, and it shows up. And then when was the last time we treated that condition? Let's go to quote. And now it brings up all the carriers and how they're going to cover her. And let's put in $10,000 because that's what she was looking for. And then we find the carrier that we like. We like Transamerica. It's one of our favorite carriers. And the monthly premium, $22.10. And so Adrian likes that. And so we go into the electronic application immediately. And then we start filling out the electronic application. Simple, streamlined. And we submit the application. And then literally it can be issued within minutes, right? By the time you're done with a client, it could literally be issued, which means you're getting paid within the next week for that policy. That's how fast it can be. And back in the old days, the most you can do is probably book 5, 6, 7 appointments in a day, hope that, 3 show up and hope you close 1 or 2, right? Now you can do per day, you can do 10, 12, 15 presentations in a day from home because you're no longer having to drive to someone's house. You're no longer getting no-showed and then you have to drive back home, or you drive to the next appointment after waiting around until the time you booked it. Now you can just go from client to client to client, help them out, take care of them, go to the next one, help them out, take care of them, and you're home. By the time you're done, you might have sold 5, 6, 7 applications in a day. And what you could have made in a week under the old system, you make in a day. It's insane what the digital revolution has done in our business. Now, look, in any sales business, more quality conversations create more opportunity, just like I said. This is why digital matters so much. The product didn't suddenly become more important. The process became more repeatable. And when people have more consultations, get more reps, and build skills faster, your confidence grows. And when confidence grows, performance usually improves too. That is the real story here, not some magic formula. Repetition, at-bats, momentum. See, the digital model gives the right person far more chances to improve, produce, and scale than the old model ever could. And that is why the shift feels so powerful to people who understand sales. Now, what attracts a lot of people to this business is that it can grow beyond a single stream of income. First, there's personal production, helping families directly and getting paid on the business that's issued. Second, this is what's cool. There's a possibility, right? There's a possibility of getting involved. Second, there's a possibility of renewals and persistency. So as you keep business on the books, you start getting renewal income where you get paid year after year after year when that client keeps their policy. And now you can work to you can start feeling more stable over time as your business stays on the books, right? And third, for those who want to lead, there's team building opportunities and leadership income. That is important because most people are depending on one fragile stream, one job, one boss, one paycheck. This model introduces the possibility of building layers of income instead of living month to month on a single line or single source of income. Now, this income slide is a slide really about possibility through progression. See, as your skills improve, as you invest in leads, your confidence rises because you start making a few initial sales, right? So that first week, you invest $250 in leads in our like $1 lead program. So that's 250 leads of people who signed up on social media who said, hey, I need someone to help me with life insurance. So you think out of 250, you can make 2 sales out of 250 shots? I know we're being super, super conservative, right? Couple of sales, that'll be $1,000. So what do you do with that $1,000? Why don't you fund the next 4 weeks of leads? So you're going to invest another $250 the next week, 250 leads. You still haven't resolved all the leads from the first week, but you have new leads. Do you think maybe you can make 4 sales now? Then you just made $2,000, right? But you already have $250 to invest the next week because of that first week. And let's just say you don't get any better. Like, let's just say you don't get any better. Another 4 sales, make $2,000. Week number 4, same thing. So we're being conservative. This is only getting you so much of skill development, right? So the first month of business, you spent or invested $1,000 in lead, but look what happened. Your total earnings are $7,000, so your net profit is $6,000. Well, Alex, how long does it take to do that? I don't know. It takes however long it takes, right? To make 2 sales, that's probably 2 hours to make 2 sales. That's it. Maybe you talk to 4 people to close 2. So maybe that's 4 hours, right? And you got your auto dialer automatically dialing the leads for you. So it's not a lot of time. But here's what happens as you start investing more. You start improving your skill, and this is how it can progress. So let's say the next month, instead of $250, you have your profits of $6,000. Let's just double the number of leads. And now that you double the number of leads, you have more repetition. You start getting skilled. You start being more efficient. You start closing more sales. And immediately that first week, you closed 4 sales, $2,000. The next week, you close more sales, $4,000. The next year, progressing, and you're moving up the commission guidelines. So you're making more money on the same amount of sales, but you're increasing your sales. So the second month, because you doubled your investment from 1,000 to 2,000, now you're making way more money, right? You gross $20,000 and you take 2,000 off, you netted $18,000. Really? And it's incredible. Now, it's not one giant leap, right? It's a progression. You build it in layers. You build your learning, repetition. You've developed momentum. But here's what I want to say, and I want to say this clearly. These are examples, not promises. Nobody's guaranteed a result. This depends on your work ethic, your communication, your consistency, your coachability. But what should inspire you is not a fantasy, it is the fact that there's a real model here, a model that allows growth to build on growth. And honestly, folks, we have people doing this. We have people doing better than this, but we also have people that are not doing this. Why? Because they're not listening. They're not doing everything we're teaching. They're not attending our training calls. There's a lot of reasons why people aren't meeting this model, but there are plenty of people that are, and they're doing the things that we recommend. Now, check this out. Now, imagine this. You're producing personally. You're getting consistent, and you're making consistent income. But check this out. If you help 6 other people do what you've learned to do, right? Because if you can learn to do it from the people teaching you, your people can learn to do it from the people that are teaching you, right? The people that are teaching you are going to teach them. And eventually you're going to be able to teach them, but you don't have to rely on yourself. You've got a whole team that will help you with your agents. But when you get 6 people doing what you're doing, your life totally changes because now your business is no longer limited by your own calendar, right? Now your leadership begins to create leverage. So when you look at an example like this, what you're really seeing is the power of multiplication. This is what happens when effort becomes influence, when influence becomes leadership, when leadership becomes scale. And for the right person, that's the moment where this stops feeling like a side opportunity. It starts feeling like a platform to create freedom. Yes, you're netting 21,000 on your own at this level, right? But then you're also 21,000 a month. But because you have 6 people doing what you're doing, your overrides will total another 36,000, right? Not based on your production, but based on your 6 people doing what you're doing. So your total monthly income with both components of your income is $57,000 a month. And this does not include renewals and back-end money that you've earned from all the months before, okay? This is just that month that you did. The layering starts really kicking in and it becomes totally insane. This is possible. We got people doing this, right? Look, I always think this slide matters because this is where trust is built. See, you do need to get a license. Yes. You do need to learn. Absolutely. You do need to follow systems for sure. You do need to stay consistent. See, this isn't passive and it's not a shortcut. But here's the good news. You do not have to do it alone. You can be trained. You can be coached. You can be mentored. So really the message here is not this is easy. The message is this is real. And for people who are done chasing hype and ready to build something grounded, that this is actually very refreshing. A real business with real structure, creating the possibility of real change. Now, what makes the Abuyuan Financial Group compelling is that this is not an opportunity slide. It's a support story. The real value is not some magic promise. It's the combination of culture, mentorship, systems, and support. See, we believe that service comes first, right? We believe in developing you as people so you become better producers for your family. We believe in team. Actually, it's more family, right? And that the results are important, right? It's not a club. Results are important, but the club is Freedom Club, right? Because freedom is what matters. That means you're not just being told to go figure it out. You are stepping into an environment designed to help people grow the right way, professionally and personally. We are Abuyuan Financial out of Dayton, Ohio, and we offer life and health products. I think what makes Abuyuan Financial unique is that we really focus on perseverance and faith.
We attract people who are like-minded and have that same foundation.
And it's really what drives me. In the insurance business, we put the right players together, we touch lives, and that's exactly the same analogy as a band. We're proud to announce Abuyuan Financial is partnering with Integrity.
Abuyuan Financial has a real heart for service. They don't just teach people how to sell, they teach people how to serve and lead with character and build a meaningful life.
We've been with Andy and Jane Albright for years and years and years, and once we saw them partner with Integrity, we saw that as something that we could also accomplish.
Our relationship goes back over 30 years, which is way before insurance. It's been so fun watching them grow. They make a great couple. They love to make a difference. And of course, they're all into music.
I think Integrity is the road manager for us. They promote us. We get out there and we reach the people. The technology resources they have are second to none. And we're so excited to bring our agents on to teach them these technology platforms so they can sell more insurance, be more efficient. That's what they offer us, the ability to scale our business without any limit.
We really do care for our agents and really support them in their goals and what they're looking to accomplish.
With access to Integrity Connect, Alex and Jenny's team can grow faster and serve even more families across the country.
We've already had agents really expanding their businesses and their horizons. Integrity offers tools and technology that are really raising our business to the next level.
They're going to gain more and more energy, more intelligence, not to mention all the technology that Integrity brings to the table. It's going to be exciting.
At Integrity, we're building a movement of people who care, serve, and lead with integrity. And ABN Financial fits that vision perfectly, and we look forward to serving more families together.
I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Partnering with Integrity is like being part of an awesome world-class band. I don't know how anyone can beat us. Now, one of the reasons this moment is so exciting is because it's not happening in isolation. There's a real infrastructure behind it and the real leadership behind it, real scale behind it. ABN Financial, my team, my group, our infrastructure, the Alliance infrastructure, and the Integrity infrastructure represents strength, partnership, training, systems, access, technology, and really a level of support that gives this business serious credibility. See, this is not somebody trying to figure it out in a garage or basement. This is a real ecosystem, an ecosystem built to help agents serve families, grow teams, build businesses, and do it with the backing that most people in this profession never had access to before. See, at the end of the day, this is about more than commissions. Families need protection. They need guidance. They need someone who can help them make responsible decisions before life forces those decisions on them. That is what gives this business meaning. You can earn well here, yes, but you can also serve well here. That combination matters because a lot of people are burned out, not just because they're tired. They are burned out because their work feels disconnected from purpose. This business can reconnect income and impact. You can provide for your own family while helping protect someone else's family. That is a powerful way to build a career.
I'm Megan Wood. I'm from Crawfordsville, Indiana. I currently live in Lafayette, Indiana. I was a waitress and a bartender for 13 years at Applebee's before I started this. From the age of 17 is when I started at Applebee's. So I'm a single mom. I got a little boy. He's going to turn 7 tomorrow. But the Alliance has just changed my life. I mean, I went from making $30,000 a year at Applebee's to last year we made $600,000, and this year we're going to make $1 million. So I'm super fired up about that, just the changes it's done to my life and my son's life. So we're very, very blessed to be here. So it wasn't easy. But having the mindset of have to and not just want to, it changes your perspective on things. I have a little boy, so it's like I have to make this work, and I'm gonna find a way to make this work. Constantly obsessing about how I can change to get better and better to get me to where I am now. I went into high school, I was making C's and D's in school, was not applying myself. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get out of there as fast as I possibly could because I was making great money at Applebee's. I started very, very part-time. I was working one weekend a month, and I had replaced my Applebee's income working one weekend a month. My first year, I was very, very part-time. My second year, I went full-time.
And you've been with us how long?
This will be my 4th year full-time. Just don't stop. People quit when it gets hard, and it's always hard your first week or your first 2 weeks, and that's when people quit. And I think it's almost like a test, like you're being tested to see if you can get through the first week and the second week, and then it just gets easier. So the difference between successful people, they're the ones that didn't quit when it got hard. So I think that's the best advice I can get, is just I didn't quit. That's why I am where I am.
And here's what's really crazy about all that is today she makes about $300,000 a year right now this year in residuals and renewals. So in other words, when January 1st clicked into 2026, she knew she was going to make 300,000 this year without making one sale because of all the sales she made in the past, all the renewals and residual incomes she created. She's got a cushion. So she's still working, but she's not working quite as hard, and she'll make $1 million because all she has to do now is just make 700,000. And it's kind of insane when you think about it, right? Anyway, high school, college dropout after 3 weeks, it can be done. So this is a vision that pulls so many people in, not just making money, building income around your life. See, freedom is not about doing nothing. Freedom is about choosing how work fits your family, your schedule, your priorities, and your values. See, for some, that means getting out of a job that no longer fits. For others, it means finally having a business model that works around school schedules, family life, and being present at home. That's why this message lands so deeply with parents, and especially with homeschooling families. They're not looking for fantasy. They're looking for a legitimate path to earn without disappearing from the life they care about most. So the question tonight is not whether you have your whole future figured out. The question is whether this deserves a serious look. If it does, then the next steps are simple. Book a conversation with the person that invited you. Start the licensing and onboarding path. Plug into training, take the first step. Look, you do not need to know everything tonight. You just need to decide whether you're willing to move, right? Because most people do not miss a better future because they're incapable. They miss it because they delay, they overthink, they wait for certainty that never comes. So do not just watch this shift happen. Step into it, learn it, build it, lead it. See, this 10,000 families is not just a number, it's a vision. 10,000 families with breathing room, 10,000 households with more choice, 10,000 stories of parents being present, 10,000 people no longer trapped in jobs that drain their spirit and cap their future, 10,000 families making 6 figures or more from home. That is not just a business goal. That's a cultural statement. It says we believe people can build meaningful income without surrendering the life they care about most. It says we believe freedom and family do not have to be enemies. It says we believe this digital revolution can create one of the greatest work from home movements in our industry that no one has ever seen before, right? So that's it, gang. The digital revolution in life insurance. I hope you got something from this webinar. I hope it got you moving, got you thinking about what kind of life do you want to have in the future? Because a lot of times people think that their life is limited in a certain way. But when they see something like this, all the possibilities become real. All the possibilities. So I would ask you, consider it. Consider this. Take a serious look at this. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. All right. I'm Alex Ladian. Thanks, everybody, for plugging in. Appreciate y'all. Take care.